Welcome to a special edition of Working Fans Presents, where today I am sitting down with this man is an artist, teacher of the year, freestyle master, all around great guy, and creator of Hip Hop for the Homeless, hashtag your best friend, Joey Bats. I was doing some digging for the big intro that you know I love to give, and a mutual friend had this to say, and I thought it was so nice, I'm going to begin with it. When I think of Joey Bats, I think of someone who inadvertently connected all of Connecticut's artists, painters, dancers, poets, DJs, rappers, singers, etc., and created what I have called for 10 years now the hip hop for the homeless family, and that is from strife bringing chaos. Joey, for those unfamiliar, introduce yourself to our audience.
What's up, everybody? What is up? I wanted to shades, glasses. Now I'm realizing that I just kind of look like a Unabomber. So let me take that off. I'm Joey Bats. I'm your best friend. I mean, it is what it is. I love that intro from Strife. Shout out to my guy, teacher, rapper, entertainer, maestro, MC, good guy all around. Just your best friend, man. Someone that you could tell your mom about.
You're 10 years into hip hop for the homeless, and that is such a huge accomplishment. So I want to go back 10 years. What sparked the idea for hip hop for the homeless? Do you remember the moment that it went from being an idea to an action?
Yeah, I think it was around this time where I kind of just felt bummed out about the holidays. I wasn't looking forward to Thanksgiving. I wasn't looking forward to Christmas. I was starting to just tour and get more active in Connecticut and New England. And I was just I wonder if there's something that I could do outwardly that would make me care about the things that I have in front of me. And one of the things that I think many of us take for granted the most is stability, is a roof over our head, is heat, and is just people in our lives that we can spend time with around the holidays. So hip hop for the homeless kind of came from an amalgamation of kind of all those thoughts as to what can we outwardly do in spectacle form.
And it's been nice to see it grow over the years and just get bigger and bigger. And I think I gotta say one of the biggest accomplishments was probably making it through COVID. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that year because just like in anything in entertainment, we had to find a different way to experience it. And I mean, that was one that stood out for me. But I gotta know, how do you cultivate the artists that go into these shows? Because if I'm not mistaken, every year it's a different artist for a different city, right?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's a different artist. The beginning was tough, right? The beginning of it was tough because we were starting out like everything. So no one wants to take a no one wants to take a chance, or people are scared, or people might not know what that chance might equate to. So a lot of it was yeah, I'm down. It's weird to okay, we're doing a show. Okay, we're doing a show for charity. Okay, you know, where we have t-shirts for sale, and the MCs and the performers get t-shirts, and then now the ball starting to roll a little bit, right? It's starting to get bigger. We're going downhill. It's like inertia. We're gaining speed. We're gaining momentum. And now I actually I should say around the fourth or fifth year it was okay, all right, this is sticking around, and then people realize okay, I mean it stinks, but I think initially it's very selfish and I do want to do good. However, I would love to get something in return. So I think that the performers and the artists, they realize that they're getting good press. They feel good about it inherently. All the shows are extremely professional and well put together. And all of the shows every single year have also been in venues that are extremely professional. So I think that they get a lot out of it, and they really feel good. And I think that's why our shows have a sort of a different mood, if you will. And I think, that references what Strife said about it being like a family in regards to the shows just feel different. We all recognize that we're all there volunteering our time and donating our time and doing something bigger.
100%. And you hear a lot from the artist, you see the artist there. How is it from the other end dealing with the organizations that are getting these funds? Are they blown away by the response? What is it like from their end? Because a lot of the times you'll see posts about like food banks running low or what exactly to give to donate that helps the most.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
what's the response from the other end of it?
It's a great question. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, it's like you didn't have to do this. Like you didn't have to do this. That could be from something as singular as like you taking a garbage bag of, canned food items to a food pantry. Like you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to donate $10, $20, $30. So, you could only imagine. You could only imagine that like we pull up to these places with like, trunks full of thermals, underwear, socks, toiletries, canned foods, box foods, not non-perishable items, and then money, like just a check or an envelope full of money that we have raised like that particular night. And some of them are just like, is this a joke? Like, are you serious? Is this a prank? They're just blown away. And these are people who do this year round. So I mean, first and foremost, like we get a lot of notoriety and especially in the hip hop community, obviously in the music scene where there's, oh man, these guys are doing something great in December. It's amazing. Yeah, 10 years straight in December. Yeah, sure. We turn it up. We turn it up for 10 days. We it's always on my mind, but like these people in these shelters, like this is their life, right? Like this is their livelihood. This is like truly, truly selfless work. So I like to think about it like if I could help make 1 or 2 or 3 months of their life a little bit easier, if I could help give them more resources so they're not scraping their bucket, like I'm all for it because I don't know if I could do that work 12 months out of the year. So shout out to them for sure.
It's great that you were able to provide this. And another question I gotta know is how do you decide where to play and what venues to play? Because I'm gonna pop up. This is where you're at this year. First stop in
Yeah.
Massachusetts. That's big. Do you
Yeah.
see it growing more? And how do you find these venues?
A lot to unpack there. I want it to grow more. I want 100%. I want it to grow more. It's very difficult to sustain where it currently is in a grassroots movement, strictly, volunteering, relying, if you will, on crowd participation and word of mouth and people to come out and support. It needs to start transitioning to an official nonprofit in order for us to sustain the work that we do with a board of directors as well as being able to apply for grants. But I won't bore you with that stuff. That's a good problem to have, Joe, because that shows our growth. And the growth has been like exponential. Your other question, I think, is a valid one. I mean, these are stats and statistics that you could find everywhere. The numbers don't lie. If you're looking at Connecticut's, top 10 poorest cities, Connecticut's top 15, cities that are dealing with a homeless population or dealing with like, you know, wage gaps and people struggling with stuff. Some of the cities that we've been to every year, go hand in hand with that. Unfortunately, most of the time it's synonymous with urban communities, but Connecticut is all over the spectrum in regards to wage, in regards to cost of living, in regards to displaced and families that need aid. So you have our large cities like New Haven, Hartford, and Bridgeport, but you also have cities like Jewett City. You also have cities like you know New London and Norwich and even Simsbury who don't have high populations or are even considered technically urban. However, they do have a large percentage of folks who need help and folks who need aid. So, really, I think it started originally in cities that I had relationships with, both performers and venues alike. And now throughout the years, I mean, throughout the decade, I mean, it's been a decade, right? So at this point, now I have a lasting relationship with people who work in these shelters. And these people, I don't know, most of them would probably go on record and saying that they anticipate the donations from Hip Hop for the Homeless toward the end of quarter 4 in each one of their, respectful organizations. So it makes sense to just keep that relationship with them.
That's great to find out. Like I've been such a fan of it, and being able the last couple of years to get in as a sponsor. I want to ask anybody watching, like, first off, if you're gonna catch one show this year, go to Hip Hop for the Homeless. You're gonna get great entertainment. It's for a great cause, but also go because you could become a part of it. And it's just being able to see what you've done over the years and now getting a chance to kind of let you tell our audience about it's great. Now, I want to end before I let you promote what you want to promote and we get into the dates and everything. I told you off air, this is a question I felt weird about including, but for me personally, I'm so inquisitive and I like to kind of highlight the people behind the scenes, like
Yeah.
seeing how what kind of reaction you get from the shelters. Now, who are some people along the way that have helped Hip Hop for the Homeless become what it is and helped you push it along?
Can we see the shirt, Joe? Can we see the shirt? Let's show them the shirt. Yeah,
Yeah,
look at
get the
that. That's
mic
a
out of the way.
throwback, man. That is a throwback. Yo, the Vandalized Connecticut powder blue shirt. Yo, that's like that's like 2010, 2011, I think.
I think it was
That's a
about that time. I got it from you when you did a show at the skate park in Jewett City with Enemy the Illest, Strife bringing chaos. It was like I could walk from my house. It's 2 minutes. So
I
to
love
be
that.
able to see
I love
you
that.
there and to support it, and then where we've gone since then,
Yeah,
that's why I had to get this interview because
I
not only a
appreciate it,
fan
man.
of Joey Bats the musician, but even more the humanitarian. Now, let's go from the humanitarian in yourself to to some people you'd like to shout out that have helped support it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was around the 6th year. It was the year right before the pandemic, I believe, where we were just expanding and the expectations continued to grow in regards to how much money we were raising. And like, I mean, dude, we're competitive, right? We're all competitive. Males are competitive by nature. Like, we just wanted to see that money increasing because being able to show exponential growth also makes lets people know that like what we're producing and what we're making is not becoming stale. The paradigm kind of shifted in regards to like I can't book 8 shows. I can't. I can't. I can't find that many rappers. I can't coordinate that many people without, I got to make sure, yeah, while you have this on the screen, like if I'm focused on Bridgeport in New London, like I'm going to drop the ball on Simsbury, right? I'm going to drop the ball in Manchester. I'm going to drop the ball in New Haven. I'm going to forget to contact a DJ, or someone's going to show up and they're not going to have their music, or I'm going to forget to remind somebody to show up, or who knows what'll happen while I'm shaking hands and giving hugs and kissing babies and asking people to purchase shirts and bounce, boom, 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 boom. I can only do so much. If my school gave me the whole month off, it'd be different, but they don't. Hint, hint. Um, I think that we shifted, and I was like, all right, boom. Who can step up? Who can help me with what shows and what can happen? And immediately, it made sense for Enemy the Illest to kind of help me out in New London. At the time, him and Strife were just rocking shows back to back. They were both working in the Danger Room together, and they're just homies. So like Strife is like, listen, like I'm on board. Like you got my back, like 100%. They kind of made a pitch for Jewett City. We were doing Jewett City for a while. Now we kind of pivoted to like New London and Norwich. So the two of them are like integral in making sure that those two shows not only are high energy, but that we have an incredible roster of folks, and they're just run very, very tightly. Like it looks professional, you know. These guys aren't rolling in at 8 o'clock and throwing shirts on a table, and then you already know Enemy the Illest, right? Best merch in the game. That guy's got it to a T.
He's there
Um,
2 hours early just to get a good spot.
and like and New Haven, I had been working with Sketch the Cataclysm. Sketch has been amazing in making sure that like because he's in New Haven year round, he's in those shows year round. He's making sure that he has built those relationships, and I don't often get down to the 203 as often as I can. So He was major in helping me with a show there, and we took a couple of years off from doing Bridgeport just because we didn't have the means or the resources. But he made a push to kind of get us back in Bridgeport. So shout out to Sketch for putting on those two shows this year. And the homie Muggsy, is the mayor of New Britain. So he's amazing with making sure that New Britain has a really fun show. And it's dope, Joe, because like they want their show to be great. And that's something that like the same way that I have pride in Connecticut, and even though I wasn't born here, I have a tremendous amount of pride in Hartford. These guys have pride. So like, I mean, Muggsy was ready to fight for, New Britain was raising more money than New London. Like he was trying to fight somebody over that. You know what I'm saying? So, not really, not really. But it was amazing to see that competition because, like, I mean, we have a saying in hip hop, like put on for your city, and like what does that mean to like really put on for your city? So I think that these guys in their own way and in their own right have done you know, such tremendous work for their, respective towns and cities that this tour has become just as much theirs as it is mine. And they've been with me for 10 years.
It's awesome to hear. Now, before we get out
Yeah.
of here, I'm going to put up those dates one more time. Let people know, give them a message going out about Hip Hop for the Homeless. One last push because today is Thanksgiving Day and Hip Hop for the Homeless is right around the corner. Joey, tell them why they got to be there.
So listen, for the most part, you can't focus on the hip hop aspect of our title. I think you just really have to focus on being able to help a tremendous amount of displaced people and a community of folks who just need a pick me up. Like you're probably celebrating Thanksgiving with your family, your kids, your mom, your dad, God willing, your friends. There are some people out there who have just grown to detest the holidays because they don't have anything to celebrate. And as often as we take being home for the holidays for granted, imagine that idea without a home. Even if you're not a fan of hip hop music, I think most of us can be fans of charity and goodwill, and most of us can just really enjoy the energy of a bunch of people getting together, doing something dope, and being part of an event that's just larger than themselves.
100%. Now, where can people find you? And this is a question, should have asked it off air, but it just popped in my head. If people aren't going to the shows, how can they donate? How can they contribute?
You can find me, Rap Joey Bats, everywhere. RAP Joey Bats with two T's. Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Venmo, Cash App. I'm around. You'll find me. Xbox. um, we're working on ways to provide people with the ability to donate if they cannot make a show, specifically monetarily. We have enough boots on the ground where if you really do have some goods or some clothing that you'd like to get rid of, we can try to arrange that to come to people, especially if they have issues with transportation. But we're trying to find ways to get links online for monetary donations. There is one show coming up. If you want to put that flyer back up there for me, December 14th is going to be an internet broadcast live from Middletown. And the reason we did do that is because it was an homage to how we were able to get through the pandemic year. So we wanted to kind of bring back a live broadcast a la year 7, aka the pandemic year, to try to get people, bringing hip hop for the homeless directly to your couch. So stay tuned for that one for sure. That'll be special.
Thank you for joining us, Joey. And like I said earlier, if you go to one show, go to Hip Hop for the Homeless. It's for a good cause. There's great people.